Okay, so this video is going to be how to either replace your horn button here, or the horn ring, or the contact terminal underneath, or the screws. Either or, this video applies to all of them. This ring right here, a lot of times you'll find it broken. You can get this is a high quality reproduction. It doesn't bend like the other China crap ones. It's by Airhead Parts. Same thing with the horn button here. And the contact terminals underneath. All you'll need to do this is a flathead screwdriver. So imagine this is your old horn and you wanted to reinstall a new kit. All you do is pry from the top of the horn button, kind of just get your fingernail right under there, and push down and, let's see, pull off like that. So you can see it kind of, there's a metal clip and that end rests in there. You'll see and everything up to the 1971 model, I believe, the contact ground wire for your horn, it's all ground wire, never hot wire. Up to the 1971, this is a 1971 Super Beetle, by the way, the ground wire came in through the steering column shaft. On the 1971 model, it grounded out, this wire here, grounds out through a ring on the steering wheel. This is a stock steering wheel, by the way, it's not aftermarket. And it grounds out through the ring, I'll show you here in a bit, into the turn signal switch, which then has a ground wire go into the horn. Otherwise, if you don't have a 1971, if it's below that, you'll have a ground wire that goes through the steering column here, and then it'll go over the rubber disc, it'll contact down there on the steering column. You might want to inspect that rubber disc, and then it follows to the horn. Anyway. So sometimes it's always missing most of the time. There's a rubber plug that the ground wire would feed through, and it's missing on a lot of these Volkswagens. If you do have the rubber plug, all you have to do is feed the ground wire that comes up through your steering column through the plug and plug it into that hole right there. Okay, so first off, we're going to remove this Phillips screw right here. Normally, the reason I say you only need a flathead is because that screw is a flathead screw. But I have Phillips for some reason. So that's our ground wire. That is connected to the horn directly. The horn has a hot wire going to it. And whenever you press on your horn here, it completes the ground connection. This is always grounded, your steering column. It grounds out. The horn ring grounds out to the steering column, and it feeds through the wire to the horn, making your horn work. So go ahead and remove that. Next, we're going to use our flathead screwdriver to remove the 3 screws here. 1, 2, 3. You can see there's a plastic little washer underneath. And then behind that washer, when you get the horn ring off, the chrome ring, there's our ground wire again. There's another plastic washer. And you can kind of see, I'm trying to get it right there. There's a spring and a long screw. Basically, that plastic washer there, and on this side the plastic washer there insulates the grounded screw from the horn ring. So you may have an issue if you're having the horn work all the time. They make a kit, I'll include it in the link on the bottom of this video, for the mounting hardware. The horn ring itself, if you need a new one, and the contact ring, which we'll see when we get the horn ring off. So go ahead and remove these 3 screws here. And there are springs underneath each screw. Do not lose those springs. Okay, so when you get your horn ring off, you'll see you'll have some, you'll have your screw, insulating disc, screw again, insulating disc, and then the spring. It applies to all of them, and there's a contact ring. I'll show you that in a second here. Here's another look at how it works. You have your screw, you have your flat washer, then the horn ring goes between, then you have your contact disc, and then you have a kind of a, you can see it's a sleeve plastic, and then it has a ring right there. Then you have the spring. And that mounts in these 3 holes right here. And you see that little brass ring right around the steering column? What happens is, see that brass ring in the older models, I believe, let's see, that's always grounded. In this model, it's a 71, so what happens is that brass ring is grounded to the steering column. And when I push on the horn, I'll show you the contact ring on the horn ring in a second here. That horn ring touches that brass ring, and it's grounded out, follows through the wire here. So we'll look at that in a second here. Okay, so here's the back side of the horn ring, and I've removed all my spring screws and insulators. And if you get a new one of these, it's recommended so it's tarnished. You can see it has various cuts so it fits every model. See how there's a slight bevel to it? Kind of like a cup. The cup side goes down on the horn ring. And then you just line up a notch and a hole here. That's not lined up right, so we're going to turn it a little bit. There we go, all the holes are visible. So we have that beveled, as you can see, like that. It's flush. We don't want to install it this way, where it kind of sticks out. That's bad. We're going to turn around where the cup side is facing it. Okay, here's a better view at that cup. See how it's kind of, see the edge, how it bends up? We want that to face down. So we're going to face that down. And what you'll do is you'll take your screw. It's kind of easier if you do it the other way, but you'll take your screw, plastic washer, and it applies for all of them. Feed it up through the hole. Oh, that's not working well. And then after you get that, let's see if I can balance this just right. We'll take the plastic washer and install it this way onto it, and then you have the spring. So once we assemble all that for all three of them, we'll install it on the steering wheel. So we have our horn ring all assembled. We're going to feed the ground wire through the middle of it, rest it in, and start screwing the screws in. Okay, once you get everything tightened down all the way, go ahead and kind of test out your horn ring. You may notice when all the screws are completely tightened down that this may not really push in as much as this side would. All you have to do is loosen this screw here until you get the same amount of, gap or push it takes for the horn to honk. If it's this side, just loosen that screw there until you get this even amount. Same thing for down here. When you push on it, just loosen this screw here. Lastly, all you have to do, remember if you have that plug, it comes through, if your ground wire comes through the steering column, feed it through the plug if you have it, if it's needed. And then plug it in, and then take your ground wire and screw it back onto your horn ring. Or if you're like mine, the 1971 and up Super Beetles that has the horn ring, not the plastic one. I believe the 71 to 72 were the only ones with the old style steering wheel. Take your ground wire that comes off through the side and ground it out and give it a test. I don't have my horn or the car on right now, and that's the end of this video. Forgot to add on this note, if you have your horn button here, steering wheel is like this, completely straight ahead. Take the little wire, see you have the wire clip in here? Take the wire clip at the top, you'll see some edges up on your steering wheel ring. Push it in at the top first, so it's just right, slide the bottom in. And then while it's in there, you can kind of push it down all the way, and if you really push on it, you can turn it a little bit. It's kind of hard. And you'll be good to go.